the new, the meeting between us and God. So the confluence age, it's a very little time, 100 years or something, starting in 1936. So it's not a long time, but soon it will be the golden age. And this is the golden age representing spring, representing spring, colourful, everything perfect, and no one having any bad thoughts, the time of heaven on earth. And they say in the Christian Bible, or it says, the lion will lie down with the lamb and there'll be no more crying. So everyone will be like one, everyone will be completely happy. And it's represented by spring. And we talked about you just walk along and you come to a tree. As you put your hand out, the tree drops the fruit into your hand. So there's not even any violence of picking a fruit or anything. And we're completely in tune with nature. So we know what the trees are feeling, what the plants are feeling, what the birds are feeling. In the morning, the birds wake us up with their beautiful songs, and just a perfect time. Oh, pictures change. So then we go to the silver age, which is equivalent to summer, where everything is still very beautiful, just a tiny little bit less. And what we think is perhaps here we don't name anything. Here everything just is, like a painting. And here we start to name things, like I can remember with my own children taking them outside and saying moon, moon, and they copy me and say moon, moon. And so we start to name things. And also another difference is here, everyone gets married, everyone has a son, and then about 7 years later, a daughter. Here we have 3 children, and so the population grows. And so there's some differences, but still it's heaven on earth, still it's perfection. And then, and we don't know God. We have no notion of God because everything is perfect. Everything is God-like, and we're like deities, God-like beings. And so we have no notion of God. Here in the Copper Age, which is in the autumn, all the religions come because we start to have some negativity, like maybe a bit of a nasty thought or a negative thought or something. And here we don't have any idea of death because we just have that feeling that someone leaves this body and takes another body, a little baby body, and comes again. And it's very interesting because at the moment in Lura here, where we are, there are cicadas, hundreds and thousands of cicadas, little insects, and they actually leave their bodies and they go and come again as babies, baby cicadas. And so we see on all the trees the shells there of their bodies left there on the tree, but the cicada has gone. And snakes do that as well. They leave one skin and take another. So no notion of death here. What is it? Oh, there's a cicada. Is that you there, Sriram? on Sri Ram's hand, you can see they're the bodies of the cicadas. There's nothing in them. The cicada has gone. Thank you, Sri Ram. That's beautiful. So here we start to have a notion of death, and so there's a notion of sorrow and a little bit of suffering. And then as soon as that happens, we call straight away for God. Oh God, have mercy. You know, we start praying and that in the Copper Age. And so God sends down the religious founders. So there's, first of all, Abraham, and he's appeared. Abraham, and then there's Buddha, and then there's Christ, and that's in chronological order, and there's Mohammed. But Mohammed, he wouldn't let anyone take his photo, and so it's just got a picture of a book, you know, because the Quran was studied. And the books, the religious books of the founders, the books were written years, hundreds of years after the founder left. So we don't know exactly how precise and how accurate the scriptures are because they weren't written while the founder was there. But anyway, it's a lovely time, the Copper Age, and we're praying and we're feeling a lot of goodness and mercy for others. And so that's the Copper Age. And then comes winter, the Iron Age. And then things start to be not so good, you know, like a lot of trouble in the Iron Age. And you can see how bare the winter is. And so then when the Iron Age starts to get really bad, along comes the Confluence Age, where God speaks to us. And what we understand is that it's time for us to change back to our perfect selves. So we've gone the whole way through the cycle, which is 5,000 years, and it's time for us to change. It's the time of change. So any questions about that?
No, at this moment.
It's okay. So actually last week, someone asked me a question that was, why, what's the purpose of this all, you know, all this happening? And so every day we have a class. It's called the Murli, which means the flute. And this one came 2 days after last time. So this came on last Thursday. It was spoken in the 1960s. And it answered that question. So I think this is the magic that happens. Whenever we think of something, it's almost like the next day we get the answer.
Sally,
Yes.
that sister was Faith. She didn't turn up today, but we can still give the answer. But that was Faith who was asked the question.
Peg.
Faith.
Faith. So good. We can send to her the answer. But what we say Baba for God, it just means my dear dad, you know. So what Baba is saying, the answer to that is, and it always starts with sweet children. Baba has come with a great deal of interest to teach you. You should study with that interest. Have intoxication that God himself is teaching you. So it's the time now when we're getting all this knowledge of everything. And Baba's telling us with so much interest, so we should study with so much interest. And so then it says, the Father would also be teaching you with so much interest. The Father is teaching you directly. He only comes once to teach you. You children should have a lot of interest because Baba, God, is teaching you. And He explains everything very clearly. While studying, some children wonder what this is all about. This is the cycle of coming and going in the drama. They wonder, why was this play created? What benefit is there in this? Will we just continue to go around the cycle all the time? In that case, it would be better if we were liberated from this cycle. And then God created such a play that no one can be liberated from the cycle of going and coming. Many children have the thoughts they want to be liberated from this coming and going, from sorrow and happiness. And the Father says, this can never happen. It is useless to try to attain eternal liberation. The Father has explained that not a single soul can be liberated from his past. An imperishable part is recorded in each soul. Souls are eternal and imperishable. The actors are absolutely accurate. There cannot be even one more soul or one soul less. You souls have all the knowledge. No one can be liberated from playing his part in the drama. No one can attain eternal liberation. Those of all religions have to come down. The Father explains this is a predestined, eternal drama. So the old world is definitely going to become new again. Because new children continue to come, Baba has to explain everything to you over and over again. Who would teach them the previous lessons? Therefore, when the Father sees new children, he repeats the old points. So, we got the answer. It has to be like this. Nothing can change. It's predestined. Have either of you had an experience where you go somewhere and you think, I've been there before, but you haven't in this birth? Or you think, I've met that person before, but you haven't in this birth? You ever had an experience like that? They call it déjà vu.
I don't have the similar, but similar kind of experience. Like I'm going through a situation, but I felt this situation I've been already seen the similar kind of like same, room, the same people, the same talk. It has been happened previously. I was just wondering why I'm feeling like that.
Yes, because that's very interesting, because it's predestined, it's eternal. So each time we come to this part, this part, this part, or this part, or this part, we will feel sometimes familiar because we've done it before. I've had people come in and they've said, I know exactly how this room is, and they remembered it, but they've never been here in this birth. But they're remembering from last time it happened. So maybe Sri Ram was remembering last time he had cicadas on his hand. And what about you, Pretty?
Uh, she's asking questions, Ali.
Yes, what
Why
question?
is the daughter 7 years after son?
Oh, we don't know why, but we just know, I suppose it gives the child time to grow up. I had 1.5 years between my first two, and I was like carrying one baby on each arm. And sometimes people have twins or that. It's too much for someone to cope with, you know. And then a few years later, I had another baby. So then these first ones felt a little bit left out because all my attention went to the other one. So, you know, it's really in the beginning, everything is perfect. So we have time to look after one until when they're 7, you know, they're old enough to not feel left behind. Or and you know, when one of my daughters, when she was a certain age, she thought the baby was hers, and she started to tell everyone, "This is my baby," because she was old enough to be able to help and to be able to do things. And she would show everyone, "Come and see my baby," she would say. So I think that that's the only reason we know, is that there would be complete love and looking after that one child until it was old enough to understand things. Is that okay? That's probably all we know.
Yes, he's saying thank you.
Good. So now we're going to have the picture of the tree. This is just a picture of Golden Age. This is Lakshmi and Narayan. They're the Emperor and Empress of the Golden Age. And he is the lion lying down with the lamb. And birds and animals and flowers and water. There's always beautiful lakes and rivers, and everything is calm and quiet. So if we want to be like in the Golden Age, we slow down. We always say meditation is to slow down. And usually you can get much more done when you do it in a relaxed, quiet way than when you're rushing around trying to do things quickly, and often things get um, mistakes come. So this is the tree. So we start with the roots of the tree, and this is people meditating. Just calm, quiet, relaxed, and meditating. And here is Mama and Baba. Now this Baba is Brahma Baba, and we've got a picture of him, Brahma Baba. So what happened with Brahma Baba is he was a very wealthy jewelry maker, and he was extremely well loved and respected, and he was about in his 60s, and he was at a party, and he went into a quiet room, and when he was in that room, everything was red, and his daughter-in-law walked past, and she saw everything all red light in the room, and he was calling out, "Stop, stop, I can't take it." And what was happening is God was giving him like visions of a time when there was uh, like floods and fire and bombs and earthquakes and tsunamis, everything happening at once. And he was saying, "Stop, stop, I can't take it." And then he was given a vision of the Golden Age. And so it was Baba telling him, Shiv Baba, God, telling him that he had to go through a time, and the whole earth has to go through a time when everything gets to the height of its intensity, and things happen like that are very bad, and so many people dying. And what happens is all the bodies of everyone who drowns or is burnt or dies or earthquakes or anything makes the earth very fertile. It becomes like fertilizer to the earth. And then the golden age begins. So in the tree, and Mama, what happened with her, she was a schoolgirl. She was only 17. She finished at school, and her father had died, and her uncle had died. Both of them had died, and so the mothers, there were two wives who were widows, her mother and her uncle. And her mother and her uncle were told, go to the Brahma Kumaris and they'll help you. And so she went. But what happened? She was a very good singer and dancer. She was very fashionable, and she'd never had a job. And she came and she loved the knowledge, and everyone started calling her Mama, and no one knew why, and they're all calling her Mama. And so she, with Brahma Baba, the Father Brahma, they looked after the organization in its early days, and she would be so respectful. She, anything that Brahma Baba said, she would do. She would just be so kind to everyone. So everything about her changed. Her appearance, her she stopped being fashionable and just wore a white sari. Brahma Baba, he used to be so fashionable. He had, really expensive suits on and everything, ties and cars, and he gave it all up. He gave all his money to keep the organization going, and he appointed a committee of women to be in charge, about 8 women to be in charge. And this was unheard of in those early days in the 1930s. Unheard of. People just didn't take any notice of women at all. They thought women should just be seen and not heard, and shouldn't have an opinion, and should do exactly what the man says, and the man would be her God, the husband would be her God, and that's how they were. But they changed everything around, and so Baba, Shiv Baba, God, the Supreme Soul, in these every day sending these Murli classes, says whatever the world says, when the world says yes, we say no. When the world says no, we say yes. Turned everything around, but gained a lot of respect. And so they're the founders, or especially Brahma Baba is the founder, and Mama's like she was the one who helped. And then this represents Shiv Baba, God, and then comes this, the Golden Age. Is there a closeness of, can we that bit close? That's the Golden Age. I don't know if you can see clearly, but the Golden Age. And then this is the Silver Age. So you can see very beautiful scenery and colour, very beautiful colour. This is just for teaching. There wasn't a real tree. It's just in the form of a tree to teach us. It's called the Tree of Life. So this part, the golden and silver part of the tree, is the trunk. And what do you think, what qualities are there in a trunk of a tree? What do you think are the qualities? How would you describe a trunk of a tree? Any ideas? Well, it's solid. It's unshakable, immovable. You know, it's there, and it's unified. There's harmony. It's one. So it's the strength of the tree, and then it starts to be divided. After the Silver Age starts to be division. And here's Abraham on this branch. That's the Jewish branch. And this branch here is Buddha. And that's the Buddhist branch. And so they're separate. They have some similarities in that they both believe in God. So there's some strength from here, although here there's no belief in God. There's no necessary, it's not necessary for there to be a God for people to call out. I remember once myself when I heard about a little child being raped in the supermarket, and I came home and no one else was home, and I screamed to God. I said, God, get me out of here. I don't want to be in a world where this can happen. And I was crying and I was shouting and everything. But while everything is perfect, we don't have any need to call out. Everything is just absolutely perfect. So then we have, where is Christ? Here. Christ with the Christian branch. And then there's this one is the sannyasi. Shankacharya, he was the founder. And the sannyasis, they stay at home till they're about 60 and have children, have marriage, have children and everything. And when they're 60, they go off into the jungle, like we would say the forest or the bush there. And they live off nothing, just of things on trees, or people bring them some food, but they sort of go into a time of their life where they just pray. And God, Shiv Baba, the Supreme Soul, says that all of these founders were sent down by him to help make the world better, because the world was going downhill. So each one of them has a purpose to make the world better. And then in the Iron Age, we have the Sikh religion. The Sikh religion with Guru Nanak and the Granth. So that didn't happen till the Iron Age. So that was the last main big religion to come. And then there's the religion where people worship the sciences, worship science or worship bombs, and then there's devils, like worship of devils, of Satan and things like that. It's a very difficult Iron Age. All these things happening and bombs and everything. Trouble. And it's time for this tree to fall and the little sapling to be planted so that the next tree can grow again. And it will grow identically. The same thing will happen again identically, like we read in that Murli, that's what will happen. And so now we're learning of everything that's going to happen. And that's why Baba says now, don't do anything that could cause sorrow, and don't accept any sorrow. Don't give sorrow, don't take sorrow. just be happy. And if anything negative happens, just forgive it and let go. Don't hold on to anything. So he wants us to be free and strong because there's still work that we have to do. So it's a beautiful study, the study of the tree. Do we have another tree? Is another picture of a different tree? And we'll just go over it again. Yes. So we're going to get another tree just to show you, but it's the same, just drawn in a different way. And here's waterfalls, beautiful clean water. So now with the COVID, especially in India, a lot of people are not going out. You know, they're in lockdown, they can't go out. And so the waters have become much clearer and cleaner because people aren't pushing dirt and rubbish and plastic and everything into the waters. And so we'll get an idea of how clean waters are going to be. They will be so beautiful in the golden age, and that's coming close. And with roots, the roots understand a lot of things that we don't know. Like, for instance, in Lura, one day I went up the street and all the trees were bare. There wasn't one bit of leaf or one blossom or anything in the streets, just like completely bare trees. And the next day when I went, every tree was full of pink blossom. And in every street, parallel streets like that, on that one day, all pink blossom came out. And I thought, this is magic. But it's not magic. What it is the roots actually, they say this in science, that the roots actually communicate with each other, one tree to another, to another, to another. And on the one day, all the pink blossom came out. It was unbelievable. People were there by the hundreds taking photos. And now they've all the blossoms gone. And all exactly the same. So there's some correspondence, there's some connection between the roots. And that's a little bit crowded. Maybe we can have this one. Yes. So that's good. Thank you, Sriram. So it's the same thing. It's just a little bit less on it. But here's Mama and Baba. Here's everyone meditating. Here's the golden age, the silver age, and then the different religions coming, all the different religions. And that's, I think we like the first one best, the first tree best. But we're coming to the end, and it'll be time to go home. And when we go home, we go to Nirvana, or you can say Brahman, and it's the world of peace and silence. There's nothing spoken, there's no movement, we're just points of light. in the soul world, which is golden red light. And so one interesting point is each branch of the tree, when it comes, has its own gold and silver, copper and iron age. So every religion, say this one, the Jewish one at first, so it starts off in its golden age, and then it goes to its silver, copper and iron age. Everything is in its in their iron age at the moment, at their lowest. But I was brought up in a Jewish family, and my youngest son, he is Orthodox Jewish, really follows everything. And there's one day of the year when they dance all night and they pray all night, and that's the time when Moses gets the 10 Commandments. And so I said to my son, do you feel that you were there when Moses got the 10 Commandments? And he said to me, absolutely I was, he said. Definitely I was there. So that's their golden age, the golden age. So, and in each of the religion, in the Christian religion, people who really follow the Christian religion, they feel they were there when Christ was there, and they heard Christ with his parables and what his stories and everything. And the Buddhists feel with Buddha, they were there when Buddha was there teaching about non-violence and everything. So it's a wonderful drama. It's a wonderful play where people have that feeling of being there with the founders and learning about God and everything. So that's the tree, and this is a picture of the golden red light where it's the home, and the home is infinite. There's no end to the home. It's like infinite light where we go, and we wait there as points of light until it's time to come down in the golden age. So that's the tree. Any questions about the tree? Kalyani, does that make sense to you? Any questions? Pretty? Oh, thank you. Kalyani, any questions? So we can have another meditation. We have one, it's from knowing myself, and it's called pure love. Pure love. So we know that we want to be loving, but we don't want to have a bargain out of it, like I'll love you if you love me, or I'll love you if you're nice to me, or anything like that. We want our love to be pure so that everyone receives it, whether we like what they've said or don't like what they've said. It's like all embracing love. And firstly, we have to have it for the self. So this is a CD called Loving Myself. No, Knowing Myself, and it's pure love. So we just again focus on the point of light in the middle, and we'll just sit straight. Gently have the eyes open. We have the eyes open so that anytime we can, even if something's happening that we don't like, we can meditate because we're used to having the eyes open. Because if someone's telling you bad things or nasty things about yourself, you can't shut your eyes in the middle of the day or anything and just go into meditation. So with the eyes open, we can go into meditation. We can be sending them such good wishes that it'll help them. We don't have to go and sit down and shut the eyes and meditate. So if you get used to meditating with your eyes open, then your whole life becomes a meditation, a healing. So I relax, gently have the eyes open, looking at the point of light, feeling the point of light that is me in the middle of the forehead, behind the eyes, looking through these eyes. The soul is listening through these ears. The soul is speaking through this mouth.
Of pure love. Love is also the original state of being of the eternal self. Sitting quietly, knowing that I am a soul. I am not the physical body. Within a moment, I can turn inwards and be a point of light. In this awareness of my own spiritual identity, I transcend the limits of my physical body. My image of myself has changed. Now, the compartments in which I had placed myself have dissolved. Color, gender, age, race, religion had all become limiting factors for my consciousness. And I can see so clearly that all of these are not part of I, the eternal being. All these are associated with my body. And I decide to go beyond these limits. My image of myself is transformed instantly. I am light. I am peace. I begin to enjoy knowing myself in this way. I had forgotten the sweetness of my own nature. I had grown accustomed to feeling and seeing all the rough and raw edges of my personality. And so I had forgotten to appreciate myself, and definitely I had lost all love for myself. In fact, I had become a stranger to myself. And now I know I am peace, I am light, and I become a friend for myself. Looking at myself peacefully, I begin to appreciate the beauty of the inner being. In my original state, I am filled with truth, with beauty. I can see goodness within myself, and now my appreciation of my own value grows. I know that I, as an individual, am unique. I begin to love myself. And in this awareness of my eternal identity, loving myself, I can let go of the bondages and chains of guilt from the past. Now I can be free, able to learn from the past and yet forget. I can forgive myself, and so the burden of sorrow and guilt is removed, and I enjoy the beauty of loving myself. With this new attitude towards myself, I look out vision towards the world has changed. My perspective on other individuals, other souls, is very different now. I see each being not simply in terms of their human frame, but I see each being as a being of light, a being with whom I am connected eternally. I can see the recent interaction and the exchanges of yesterday and the day before, but I choose not to hold on to the immediate past or even the long distant past. I choose to see the being of light and my eternal connection with this being. We are brothers, and our link together is the link of love. Aware of love for the eternal self, all other feelings have been transformed, and I can send out thoughts and feelings and vibrations of love. This love reaches the people I have intimate connection with. But this love also reaches every human being in the world. I can send out thoughts of love that reach out into every corner of the universe. Thoughts of love touch the elements of nature, the environment, and the power of love cleanses and heals nature itself. I maintain the awareness of the eternal being radiating love.
How was that? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, enjoy
Very,
that.
very calming, isn't it? It makes you feel very calm and
And
pretty.
also,
She's saying something. Kalyani, you can say.
Yes,
one thing is like it's really calm, and also it's helped to absorb the positiveness in yourself.
yeah,
So, which is really good feeling.
yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
That's such a good thing. Not to hold anything against the self or against anyone else. And pretty,
Preeti is saying, makes me realize that I exist and need to appreciate myself.
beautiful. That's lovely. That's very lovely. So I'll read you another bit from this Morley. Baba says, uh, people carry out the final rites on the departure of the soul. No rites or ceremonies have to be performed when the Father leaves. You can't even tell when he comes. There's no question of final rites being performed. This is because he hasn't got a body, you see. The rites are always performed on the body. So in Golden Age, there's no mention of spiritual knowledge or worship. It's only at this time that such things exist. Everyone else only teaches devotion at this time. For half the cycle there is devotion. And at the end of the cycle, the Father comes and gives you your inheritance of knowledge. And this knowledge will not go with you there, because in the Golden and Silver Age, we don't know about God. There's no need to remember the Father there, because you are in liberation. Would you have to remember him? There are no complaints about sorrow there. And so it describes that time when it's total heaven. So we can do some more of that next time. Baba says he grants visions to people when they need them. And then this is a good point about forgiving the self. Repeatedly to think about a mistake you have made means to continue to put a stain on top of another stain. Therefore, put a full stop to the past. So anything that's happened in the past, the minute it's happened, the next minute, let it go. And that way, it's not a stain on another stain on another stain, but put a full stop. And you start again the next second. All thoughts, words, and deeds will easily be successful. So we don't want to hang on to anything. Good? So would we be able to have that film about the video about the Brahmakumari? We've got time to show a video that Sri Ram has got about the Brahma Kumaris, how they started and what they were teaching, and a little bit. You can then ask questions. We'll watch it and you can ask some questions. But I just saw this weekend. I hadn't seen it before, and it's very nice.
values produces greatness in and gives significance to human life. Today, to some degree, human life drifts without direction and meaning. Over the last 8 decades, the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University has been working to uplift society with living values. The inspiration behind this was the love and benevolence of God the Supreme Being. In 1936, in Sindh, Pakistan, God the Supreme gave divine inspirations to Dada Lekh Raj, and the seed of the Om Mandali group was planted. Dada had always had deep faith in God, and due to his intense desire to experience God, the Supreme himself granted divine visions to Dada. He was given the name Prajapita Brahma and was made responsible for the establishment of the new era. And people started joining the Om Mandali. Recognizing the true potential of women, Brahma Baba entrusted the leadership of the organization to them. Following the India and Pakistan partition, in 1950, Om Mandali relocated to Mount Abu, Rajasthan. And thereafter, members stepped forward to serve society both within India and overseas. This organization became known as the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. On January the 18th, 1969, the organization's founding father, Brahma Baba, passed away. The running of the organization was handed to Dadi Prakashmani, and due to her proficient leadership, the university has spread across the world, and its 9,000 branches in 133 countries have taken the form of a vast tree. Pandav Bhavan at Mount Abu, India, is the international headquarters of the organization. To build a values-based society, conferences and seminars at national and international levels are organized with lasting impact. In the year 1981, the university received recognition as a non-governmental organization at the United Nations. In 1986, the UN honored the spirituality, leading the organization with great success. Regardless of religion, caste, age, and language, anyone can receive great benefit from this spiritual knowledge. To date, millions have stepped out of their limited belief systems with the elevated feeling of one world family and are creating a new values-based society. Om Shanti.
So did you like that?
Yeah, liked it.
Good. Pretty too? That's very good. So now we can have that song about I Am Light. This is a song, you can get it online. It's called I Am Light, and it's sung by someone called Indira, and you can get it on the computer. And I like it very much because she's saying, I'm not the mistakes I've made. I'm not, what my parents have done. I am light, and inside I'm like God. It's not that I am God, but I have that potential to be godlike because I'm made in the image of God with all good values and kindness, and I just have to remind myself of that, you know. And when I slip back into Iron Age habits, I have to just think, you know, let me get out of this and let me form a new habit of my true identity. And people will notice, they'll say, oh, you're much more patient, or oh, I can see, you know, you're much more understanding, or you're much more forgiving. People will notice in you, and that gives you encouragement to keep going with the new you, because it's really the old you, and it's really the original you. So we'll just listen to this song and see what you think.
The things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside me. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 Yeah. I am light, I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. Oh, yeah. Oh, my. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all.
am light.
Nice. Yeah. So just to remember about this body, that I really like this body. I have to really care for it, but it's not me. It's just the car I'm driving at the moment. And in the next birth, it'll be a different car. And so I want to look after this car as much as possible, make sure I have good food, natural food, you know, vegetables and fruit and things that nourish me, nuts and things like grains, but not things with a lot of sugar or things that make me lethargic or, you know, take away my energy, but only good things to eat. Make sure I get good rest, and I'm not too tired, and make sure I keep good company, good with people who care about me and who trust me, and keep the company of God. Keep remembering the Supreme Being and give everyone good wishes.
Very nice and so true.
It's a beautiful, the perfect song, yes. Yes. So, any questions before we finish?
No.
So,
Wonderful experience. Going through each session of the Brahma Kumari.
as much as you can, go into meditation during the week, especially first thing in the morning. It's good to wake up in the morning and say good morning to the Supreme Soul. So if you like the name Baba, it just means my dear Father, then you can say every morning, good morning, Baba. That's what I do. And have a journal at night, write down what's happened during the day. You know, if it's something I've done which I'm sorry for, I just put down, you know, this was something I did, I'm sorry for this, and I'm making a promise not to do it again, whatever it is, you know, or something. If you want Baba to give special regards to someone, special love to someone, you can ask if this person is sick or if this person needs help, that the Supreme Soul will give to that person, to that soul. And see if you can be in nature, especially now it's spring. See if you can be in nature. And you can come and visit us at any time. Just give us a ring and say you want to come, spend a bit of time in meditation. You can do that. Some homework, yes. So I think if there's a particular person that you're having difficulty with or having trouble with relating to that person, see if you can change it around. And instead of saying, you know, that person's no good, if you can find something to like in that person, even one thing that you can think of to like in that person, and each day focus on that and see if you can change that whole feeling around. So the whole idea is to love everyone, because everyone makes mistakes, but everyone is a child of God. So if God can love them, so can I. Like that, you know. And not to repeat anything bad about someone to someone else, you know, and pass that on. not to do that. But if someone, when I was teaching in the staff room, teachers used to say something against a student, and I would think of something good about that student and say, but what about, I've seen this in the student or that, and they can't argue, you know, if you've seen something in the student. And so they would then start to say good things. And it happens, you know, it catches on. If you say something good about someone, someone else will think of something good. So the whole idea is to spread goodness in the world. So anytime you can say something kind or nice about someone, say it. And if you can't say it, think it. So have a beautiful week. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
Sure. Thank you.